years ago, I accompanied my first daughter for a dental appointment. We left quite early that morning. She didn't have time to take breakfast. So by the time she finished with the dentist, she was famished and she decided to get a drink. Now, while my baby was getting her drink, I decided to flip through some of the books that were on display. And one in particular caught my attention, and that was Becoming by Michelle Obama. Now, as I picked that book and I was going through it, my baby asked me if I wanted it, and I said yes, and she bought it for me. I'm so glad that she bought that book for me, because reading through that book, I came across Obama's #1 secret. I'll get back to this. Hi, I'm Ngozi Okure. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, we discuss books and how to leverage reading for success in life. Please subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and if you can give me a thumbs up, that would be amazing. Now, in today's video, we'll be discussing Obama's #1 secret. How come Obama is who he is? Did you watch his presidential debate in 2009? It was amazing. This man dazed the world with his brilliance. He dazed the world with his intelligence. And at the end of the day, he did something that had never been done from the foundations of the world. He became America's 44th president, the very first African-American president in the history of United States. I remember some people were telling me that it's not possible. No, he could show all the brilliance he wants. He cannot become the president of America. America is not ready for the first black president and all that. They were discussing. But at the end of the day, right before our eyes, Obama became the president of United States of America, the 44th president, the very first African-American president. What was his secret? What was at the root of the brilliance that he displayed? Now, once again, I want to say I'm grateful to my daughter for buying me that book. You see, while reading through Becoming, on page 112 of that book, Michelle Obama said something that let me into the secret of Obama. And I want to read it out, right? I hope you don't mind. She said, he never thought about material things like buying a house or a car or even new shoes. His money went largely towards books, which to him were like sacred objects, providing ballast for his mind. He read late into the night, often long after I had fallen asleep, plowing through history and biographies, and Toni Morrison too. He read several newspapers daily, cover to cover. He kept tabs on the latest book reviews. The secret of Obama is that he's the bookworm. Yes. You know this saying that readers are leaders is exemplified in Obama. It was because Obama was a great reader. Let me take you step by step to what the wife said. She said these things describing Obama when they started their courtship early, okay, when early into their courtship, when she was getting to know him. He said that he never discussed things about never discussed material possessions. He didn't talk about acquiring houses or cars or even buying new shoes. He said that he was a bookworm, that he spent much of his money acquiring books. He said late into the night, every night, long after she has slept, that the husband would be awake, plowing into books. He said he read history, he read biographies, he read other books, and then he said that he read newspapers, several newspapers on a daily basis, cover to cover. You know what got my interest here? Someone said that, you know, when wealthy people, when rich people pick newspapers, they go to a section, they look at investment, look at the stock market, look at, you know, all the things that had to do with finances, and they drop the newspaper. Now, when the poor picks the newspaper, they go to the gossip section. They look at who is divorcing who and who is marrying who. They look at the films that will be in the theater. They look generally at gossip, what is happening in town, and they drop it. But Michelle Obama said that when her husband picks a newspaper to read, he reads it cover to cover. And he doesn't read one. He reads several newspapers every day. And at the end of the day, tell me why this man's mind will not be so developed. The wife said that he was different from every other person she dated because that he was so secured. That's one of the benefits of reading. A person who reads is secured. A person who reads is developed. A person who reads has perspective that is different from someone who does not read. And this is why it's so important that we read, that we should borrow Obama's #1 secret. Now, the reading that Obama did before he got to the Oval Office, before he got to White House, was what saw him through. After reading that book, Reading Through Becoming gave me an insight to the fact that a person who is not a reader has no business going into leadership. I'll tell you why. Michelle said that every evening while the husband was the president, he will step down, he will come down from the Oval Office, come down to have his dinner by 7 p.m. And as he's having his dinner, the intelligence department would have prepared a folder, a big folder, okay, that will be prepared about everything that he needs to know, everything that the president needs to know for the next day. And then after Obama's dinner, he will carry this folder and go back to the office, and he will be there until after midnight every day. He will read all those things so that nothing happens in the country that will take him by storm. Not like, remember that there was a time in our own country where there was, I think it was a jailbreak, and the president said he wasn't aware that the intelligence department had dropped an information concerning that on his table. Because look, if you're not a reader, you're not a reader. And if you're not a reader, you have no business going into office, because it's not just about the name president. It goes with a lot of reading. It goes with a lot of mental activity. That's what Becoming, Obama's wife's book, showed me, that a lot of intellectual activity is involved in being a president. There are things to read on a daily basis so that nothing takes the president by surprise, okay? Okay, so having said that, so we can see that Obama's #1 secret is that he's a bookworm. Let's look at some of his quotes. Obama has developed some beautiful quotes on books and reading. Of course, if you watch a couple of my videos, you will see that I love quoting one of his wise quotes, where he says that reading is a gateway skill that makes every other learning possible. Now, I want you to ponder on this wise saying. He said that reading is a gateway skill. Gateway is something that opens the gate for you to enter into a realm. It says that reading is a gateway skill that makes every other learning possible. So I don't know what it is that you want to do in future or want to become in future. Reading will let you into it. And that's why I highly recommend my last video that I did, where I talked about how to program your newborn baby for success. I highly recommend it for every mother and every father, and even if you are a young person, so that you will get to know what you need to do before you even say, I do. Okay, so it says that reading is a gateway skill that makes every other learning possible. This is because if you can read, you can learn anything and become anything you choose to be in life. Okay, so let's look at his #2 quotes. Obama's #2 quotes on reading. He says, reading is important. He says, if you know how to read, the whole world opens up to you. Can you beat that? That's what Obama said. He said, reading is so important. He said, if you know how to read, the whole world opens up to you. He's talking from personal experience, right? He's talking from a personal experience, because through reading, the whole world opened up to him. The White House opened up to him. And if you know that by the time the White House opened up to him, the whole world was open to him. Okay, so that's what reading did for Obama. That's what being a bookworm did for Obama. And sure, now somebody listening to me might say, I don't read because I don't have time. You can't be busier than this man, right? While he was in the office, he was still reading. Remember that one of the things that the wife said is that he kept tabs with book reviews. In other words, he's listening to the review of books to know the next books he's going to buy. Okay, so the man read actively. And he's telling us that if you can read, that the whole world opens up to you. So if you say that the reason why you're not reading is because you don't have time, you couldn't have been busier than Obama. While he was in the office, he was also reading so much that I think it's San Francisco Chronicles called him the reader-in-chief. You know the way they say commander-in-chief, they called him the reader-in-chief. So as the president of America, he was still reading. So you couldn't have been busier than him. I want to encourage you to begin to read, okay? We have seen a practical example to the fact that readers are leaders. I don't know what capacity of leadership you want to enter into tomorrow. It could be leadership as a father, as a mother, as a business owner, whatever capacity of leadership you are aspiring to enter or you are aspiring to achieve. Reading will help you. Whatever it is you want to accomplish in this world, reading will help you. So I want to encourage you, don't just listen to this video and dump it. Do something. Get a book and read. Thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful video. I hope you have subscribed to my channel. Tell somebody about this beautiful video, and until I come your way next time, remain richly blessed. Thank you, Jesus.